Welcome back to Those Vegan Chefs. I'm Stefan, and this channel is dedicated to making you a better vegan cook. Today we're making a vegan sweet and sour recipe featuring tofu. Not too sweet, not too sour, it's just right. So let's get cooking. We've been pressing the tofu for 30 minutes. Now it's time to add a little bit of umami and depth to the tofu. I like to start with cutting the tofu in half. Just makes it a little bit more manageable. And we're gonna cut it in half again. And then I wanna cut these nice kind of long, big rectangles. And then we're gonna add it to our bowl. Make sure to kind of separate the tofu pieces. Sometimes they stick together. Now we're gonna go ahead and season. We're going to start with our toasted sesame oil, just enough to lightly coat. Then we're going to add our mushroom powder, 1 teaspoon Chinese 5-spice, teaspoon of salt, and we're just going to gently toss the coat. We want to make sure we don't break our tofu pieces, but we want to make sure we're evenly distributing our seasoning, our salt, and the sesame oil. Tofu's chilling. Our vegetable is pretty straightforward. We have pineapple, red onion, sweet peppers. You could use bell pepper as well, but these sweet peppers right now are beautiful. And of course we have a little scallion. I like to do just a medium dice. Now our scallions are our garnish. We're gonna cut these on the bias, and essentially we're gonna toss some of this in at the very end and then have some to just sprinkle on top. Now it's time to prep our sauce. We're gonna start with 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then we're gonna add our 1/4 cup of water. Start whisking to dissolve. We're gonna add our rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons. All right, let's add our soy sauce. We're gonna add our sweet soy sauce. I like the kind of the viscosity that the sweet soy sauce brings, and it brings just another level of umami. Speaking of umami, we're gonna hit it with our tomato paste. We're gonna add our cornstarch. We're gonna whisk to dissolve that tomato paste and our cornstarch. We're gonna give the sauce a taste to see where we're at. It's best practice to get it dialed before we put it in a pan, because once we put it in a pan, it's gonna thicken, it's gonna reduce, and it just is a little more challenging to get that seasoning spot on. So let's see what's up. That's good. I think it needs just a dash of vinegar. I think we are ready to coat our tofu. Coating is pretty straightforward. You have a 1/4 cup of garbanzo bean flour, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. We're gonna mix those two together. And then we're gonna add it to the tofu. Using our hands, we're gonna gently coat the tofu. All right, our pan is nice and hot. So what I like to do is, right before I put it in the pan, I just roll the tofu in that coating again. So we just make sure we get a nice coating. I really love using the garbanzo bean flour. It adds this like mineral quality to the tofu, and it also just creates this really beautiful crust. Just takes a minute to get it cooked on all the sides. Once they're all beautiful golden brown, we're gonna put them on our paper towel. All right, we have our pan is clean. Now it's time for the fun part. Pulling it all together. Just about 1.5 teaspoons of oil, just enough to start sauteing. We're gonna start with cooking our red onion. We're gonna season the onion just a little bit. Have our onion sauteing. It's okay if we pick up just like a touch of color on there. We're gonna add these awesome sweet pepper rings. Another pinch of salt. We're gonna let these peppers get just a touch of color and start to soften up. We're just gonna flip the peppers. Look at that, just a little bit of color. All right, we're gonna add our pineapple. Just another little pinch of salt. The sugars are caramelizing. The peppers are starting to wilt, but I like that they're still holding their shape with some texture. Now we're gonna turn the pan down because I want the sauce to thicken, but not necessarily reduce. And if our pan is pretty warm, the sauce is gonna get thick and it's gonna reduce really hard. So we're gonna let that heat kind of come down a little bit. And before we add the sauce, we wanna make sure we stir it. So the cornstarch that is settled to the bottom, the tomato sauce is settled to the bottom. This way we're emulsifying, remixing everything. We're just gonna pour it right in. Just adjust the heat a little bit. It's already coming to a boil. It's already starting to thicken. All right, we're gonna turn off the heat. And now we're gonna start adding our tofu in. We're gonna add half of our scallions. Basically, we just coat the tofu, and then we're gonna plate it on our platter. And we're ready to go. Just a little bit of that scallion right around. And there we have it. This vegan sweet and sour recipe is perfect. It's not too sweet, it's not too sour. The tofu is amazing. It has the mushroom, the garbanzo bean flour, all creating this wonderful flavor and texture. We have the pineapple, which is like sweet, but not huge. So I think with all that delicious talk about how good this dish is, let's take a bite. I absolutely love it. The tofu is exactly what I thought it was gonna be. So much flavor, that mushroom powder, that little hint of 5 spice. Man, and you get that little bite of the pineapple and it just pops the whole dish. The peppers, it's awesome. I think you need to check it out. You need to indulge with this vegan sweet and sour recipe. And as always, I'll see you next week. Bye.